When Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea, in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came to Jerusalem wise men from the east, where, they said, is the newly born King of the Jews. For we have seen his star in its rising, and we have come to worship him. Jesus was born in Bethlehem. It was a small town 6 miles to the south of Jerusalem. In the past it had been called Ephrath or Ephrata. The name Bethlehem means the house of bread. Bethlehem stood in a fertile countryside, which made its name a fitting name. It stood high upon a gray limestone ridge more than 2,500 feet in height. The ridge had a summit at each end, and a hollow like a saddle between them. So, from its position, Bethlehem looked like a town set in an amphitheater of hills. Bethlehem had a long story. It was there that Jacob buried Rachel and had set up a pillar of memory beside her grave. It was there that Ruth had lived when she married Boaz. Bethlehem was the home and the city of David. It was the water of the well of Bethlehem that David longed when he was a hunted fugitive upon the hills. It was in Bethlehem, David's city, that Jews expected great David's greater son to be born. It was there that they expected God's anointed one to come into the world. As it is written in Micah, "But you, O Bethlehem of Ephratah, who are one of the little clans of Judah, from you shall come forth for me one who is to rule in Israel, whose origin is from of old, from ancient days." The houses in Bethlehem are built on the slope of the limestone ridge, and it was very common for them to have a cave-like stable, hollowed out in the limestone rock, below the house itself, and very likely it was in such a cave stable that Jesus was born. To this day, such a cave is shown in Bethlehem as the birthplace of Jesus, and above it the Church of Nativity has been built. The Church of Nativity has a door so low that all must stoop to enter. It is supremely fitting that people should approach the infant Jesus upon their knees. When Jesus was born in Jerusalem, there came wise men from the east to do homage to him. The name given to these men is Magi. The Greek historian Herodotus says that they were originally a Median tribe. They were part of the empire of Persians. They were the priests. They were the men of holiness and wisdom. They were skilled in philosophy, medicine, and natural science. They were soothsayers and interpreters of dreams. In those ancient days, everyone believed in astrology. People believed that they could foretell the future from the stars, and they believed that a person's destiny was settled by the star under which he or she was born. About 11 BC, Halley's Comet was visible shooting brilliantly across the skies. About 7 BC, there was a brilliant conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter. In the years 5 to 2 BC, there was an unusual astronomical phenomenon. In those years, on the first day of the Egyptian month, Missouri, Sirius, the star, rose heliacally, that is at sunrise, and shone with extraordinary brilliance. Missouri means the birth of a prince, and to those ancient astrologers such a star means birth of some great king. It may seem to us extraordinary that those men should set out from the east to find a king, but the strange thing is that, just about the time Jesus was born, there was in the world a strange feeling of the expectation of the coming of a king. Suetonius, Tacitus, Josephus all wrote about this. When Jesus Christ came, the world was in an eagerness of expectation. Men and women were waiting for God, and the desire for God was in their hearts. They had discovered that they could not build the golden age without God. It was to a waiting world that Jesus came, and, when he came, the ends of the earth were gathered at his cradle. It was the first sign and symbol of the world conquest of Christ. Let the God Almighty help us to eagerly wait for the second coming of Jesus Christ.